Hello, this is Adam Gates from Car Subaru in Beaverton, Oregon. I am going to go over a package 15 Outback delivery today. This is the package 15. Now, package 15 is a fully loaded premium, so you have things like push button start, power lift gate, native navigation, blind spot detection, all kinds of cool features. So we're going to start from the outside, work our way in. Now, your package 15 comes with a smart key, a proximity key. Just like a normal key, you can lock, you can unlock. This is actually a button. You can see it says unlock right there, that little Subaru symbol. Once, the cars are set up so that once unlocks the driver's side door, twice unlocks all the other doors. Then you have this trunk button. If you hold down that button, you're going to hear a beep, 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 and there you go. There's your trunk lifting up. And then if you hold it down again, beep, beep, it goes down. Okay, nice thing about the proximity keys, never have to take them out of your pocket. If you want to unlock or lock the car, you just touch these two little grooves in the handle. You don't want to reach inside and touch it. You want to just touch it from the top here. Car's locked. So give us a couple of seconds here, then you just reach up, grab the handle, it unlocks. Okay, if you ever hear this noise, I'm going to put the keys in there and you hear this noise, car is telling you that there's a key in there somewhere. It will not lock. So yay, no more locking our keys in the car. All right. Now also on these keys is this little silver button. If you push that down, and I can't do it because I don't have two hands, I'm holding my phone here, but if you push that down and pull the key, there's this little piece right here will come out, and there's actually a key in there that you can put in the door lock if your battery's dead, pop the door, pop the hood, and get the car jumped. Okay? Oh, and you also have panic. I'm not going to do that because God knows when this early in the morning when you're watching a YouTube video, you don't need that panic alarm going off. Now, your trunk here, 1, 2, 3 stars down. Well, it's so that's another feature. That is your hands-free. I'm going to show you that. The car is being a little sensitive for me. On your trunk, you can put your trunk lid up and down right here. This is a lock thing. If you load your stuff into the car and you want the car to lock all the doors, you can click that and it will lock the entire car. I'm just gonna push it down here so that it comes back down. Okay, so third star down from the top here. I don't want to, of course it saw it. So if you can't tell from here, these proximity sensors on the door are pretty sensitive. So what the proximity sensor is in this Subaru symbol, it has a little radar. If I hold my hand up here, you're gonna hear it beep. And then if I pull my hand away, it'll tell me, okay, it's gonna open. So when you got bags of groceries or you're holding on to kids, that's an easy way to get it open. Now I'm gonna stop the door. Oh, good Lord. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit just so you can see it. See that little soft touch button right there? So if you reach up under that soft touch button right here and touch that, it's the third star down. I don't want to get too close because the system will go off again. That'll also lift the button up for you. All right, that was kind of a that was something I should probably cut out of the video, but it's good to see. So starting from the left here on the door, you've got your mirror adjustments. Left, use the joystick to move the left mirror. Right, to move the joystick, move the right mirror, and then in center locks it so it doesn't actually move on you the whole time. You've got lock and unlock. You've got auto windows in the driver and passenger side. You've got regular windows in the back, and this is to lock it for kids, dogs, friends, all that kind of stuff. Then you've got your seat adjustments. You've got lumbar support. Push it forward to have the lumbar go out. Push it back to have the lumbar go in. This adjusts your back support. Just tilt that front and back. To move the seat forward, you move the whole side button forward. Back, if you lift up from the back, it lifts it up. Oops. Down, of course, puts it down. Now this is kind of cool on Outbacks. If you pick it up from the front, it adjusts your thigh relief, just the front of the seat, not the rest of it. So it gives you a little sciatic support, that kind of thing. Okay. Here, another way to open your trunk lid. You have this, you just hold that down. And it pops open. Hold it down to close it again. You've got your dimmers for your dash. Now this is your memory button. On the power button, some people prefer to put, longer cargo carriers, kayaks, that kind of thing on the top of the car. If you have that and it hangs over the trunk lid, you don't want them hitting, you can click this and set that. My redelivery specialist goes over that, or it's in the manual as well. I'm not going to show that because it can just confuse people in a video. It's tough to do in videos. All right, if you're ever wondering how much gas or how many miles you have, there's this little trip, oh come on you, trip reset button right here. So if I click that, it'll tell me how much gas is in the car and how many miles are on it, even if the key's not there. Okay, so we're gonna hop in here. Okay, so you have your stock here. These are your lights. You've got off, auto, and then driving lights, and all your lights on all the time. I always leave it on auto. The car adjusts that. It's very sensitive. If it thinks it's even remotely dim enough for it to work, it'll just turn on your lights for you. When you park the car, they stay on for about a minute, and then they turn off after you get out of the car. This is to turn on your fog lights if your car is equipped with that little collar right here. Okay. If this is your first push-button start car, I'm going to go over how to turn on the radio on the auxiliary power. If I put my foot on the brake, you see that I have a green light telling me that it's ready to start. If I keep my foot off the brake, I click it once. Your giant iPad of a stereo comes on. If I click it twice, the auxiliary power comes on. Now, if you click it once or twice, you need to click it a third time so that you actually turn the car off. Okay? So I put my foot on the brake, green means go, start the car up. So you hear how loud the car is when it first starts. All Subarus start this way. The oil doesn't run off the components when the car's shut off because of the boxer motor. So it's going to run kind of loud and a little bit rough when you first start. It quiets right down after about a minute or two. Okay. So over here we have all of your audio information and source. This is to scroll through your preset channels, volume up, volume down. Source is, of course, where you're pulling your music from. This is to talk to the car's systems if you want to tell it to navigate somewhere or to make a phone call, that kind of thing. And then you got pick up the phone, hang up the phone. And then we have these three buttons down here. I don't know if you can tell from this, that I button in the middle. I'll explain that here in a second. But if you want to scroll through these, you're going to pull the buttons towards you like this and use either this top or this bottom one. And if I'm right here, you can see as I pull it, it tells me what sort of information. Right now we're facing almost due west. That's your rolling PSI gauge. Subarus come with rolling PSI gauges. They don't tell you what temperature or what pressure there is in the tires when the car is cold. They roll for about half a mile, then they tell you. Then you've got your auto start stop. This car's had its auto start stop. If you come to a full stop with the brake on, the engine will actually shut off if the engine's warm and conserve fuel. Right now this one's been running for 2 minutes 46 seconds and it's saved 0.019 gallons of fuel. Okay, if I pull it again, it's telling me on this trip we've been going for a minute. We've gone 0 miles. That's your rolling MPGs and how many miles you have to empty. This one has 440 miles to empty because it's almost full. You have 20.7 MPGs on its full trip. The time and the temp and the the time and the outside temperature. What station is playing on the radio, or you can just have it blank if you like a little cleaner display. Now you also have this middle button that's an I button. If you have any issues with this amber eye or a red eye popping up right here, you pull that button and it tells you what's going on. Most of the time it's somebody doesn't have their seatbelt on in the car, low tire pressure, or low fuel. But if you see that, red is a very serious thing. Amber is something the car is just saying, hey, this is something you might want to know about and take appropriate action. All right, then on this side, we have your eyesight safety system stuff. We're going to go over this in detail because that's a little different than on most cars, and then we'll eventually get into how to use the head unit here. Okay, so right now you can see I have all this stuff set so that nothing's on. If I click the adaptive cruise, this is your cruise control button, you're going to see the display change. Okay, now you see this little car right here, that's us. If I put my foot on the brake, or take my foot off the brake, that's where that's at. We've got 4 lines here. That's your following distance in adaptive cruise. More lines means the car stays further away from the car in front of it, brakes sooner, accelerates later to keep the ride as smooth as possible. Right here you can adjust the following distance. If you move it down, It'll get closer to the car in front of it, move it up, it stays further away. This is for like when you're in stop and go traffic and you don't want to keep getting cut in front of on an exit or something like that. The car beeps, and another little animation of a car pops up right there telling you that's the car it sees. Whenever it acquires a car, it beeps, shows a car, says that's the car I'm following, beeps whenever it loses a car and picks up another one, so you know what car it's reacting to. Okay, then you have this button right here. This is your lane centering. So if I click that, now the car is looking for lane markings, and it'll show you those right here. They're vertical white lines on either side of the car, and it'll actually put some feedback in the wheel to keep you in the center of the lane. It's really good for highway travel. Do not recommend keeping it on in town. Then you have set and reset for your cruising speed. That will pop up right here. Now again, that's your max speed. You want to set it up to whatever speed you want to go on the highway. The car will adapt with the speed of traffic in front of it. If you click it down, you see that minus, or up, you see that plus. It goes down by 5 mile an hour increments or up on the fly. Okay. So then you have this here. We've got 4 levels of wiper speed. This is just for mist. Then you got 1, 2, 3. You adjust the interim between swipes here. More time, less time with this little collar here. Then if you turn this backwards, I'm going to use the mirror here. Turn that backwards. That's to spray the rear and wipe that down. You can also turn on, if you move it forward, turn on the windshield wipers. If you have it all the way on and you turn it forward, it also does the spray. It just keeps the wiper on. Okay. So as we move through here, we're going to go over this in quite a bit of detail. It's quite a bit different. This is new for 2020 in the Outbacks. It's our new infotainment system. Everything for the car is in here. You've got your native maps. Uses a TomTom. I really like that system. If you want to change what you're seeing, you can do this and change how it does it. I like it over the shoulder view like that, but that's up to you. Then you have your search button, all that stuff right in there. This is your home button. If you ever get lost in this system, you just hit home. You got that going there. Radio. So you have your radio button, and you can do all this here. If you want to adjust where station is set, you've got 18 presets. You just hold that down. There you go, and all that's ready to go. Okay. So then you can hit, now this is where you're pulling your music from. You got AM, Sirius. You get Sirius free for 3 months. Or if you have a subscription. Now you can also go to media. If I have my phone hooked up, it'll show you you've got auxiliary, iPod, USB, Bluetooth is there, but it's not an option right now because I don't have a phone connected. If you want to connect a phone, you click phone, go into your Bluetooth settings on your phone, and you want to connect a device. Now it's searching. You're looking for Subaru BT. Obviously, whoever had this car hooked this up to show a customer, so you can click delete and do that. And yes, I want to delete the device. Okay, perfect. No, I do not want to connect a device. You can also add devices right there. Okay, apps you don't really need to worry about. That's mostly CarPlay and Android Auto. These cars are all equipped with CarPlay. You plug that in right here with any USB cord you would use to charge your phone. Make sure it's a decent cord because it has to transmit data. CarPlay and Android Auto, what they do is they mirror your phone screen up on this screen, and you actually see Google Maps, Waze, that kind of stuff up on the screen, what music you're playing and all that. You control your phone completely from the car. And when you have that plugged in, this button will let you talk to Siri or the Google Assistant, depending on which device you're on. Okay, then a lot of these you can move, just like an iPad. If you want to move that down and you like that stuff in there, that's how that works. Now, this button here is to get into the car's internal systems. So vehicle dynamics control, that's your traction control. That says it's on. You can turn it off if you want. X mode is an off-road mode for you campers. If I click that, it says X mode's on. And it's going to do things like, what it does is it changes the traction control system into overdrive so that you can only do 18 miles an hour, and it just kind of wants to crawl you over off-road obstacles. You also see this little green guy here. That's your downhill mode. If you go downhill, the car will only do 12 miles an hour, so it'll automatically brake and slow down for you so you stay off the brakes, don't get the car sliding. The car's traction control system will handle that. Okay, so if I turn that off, auto vehicle hold. This is a pretty cool feature. If you go to AVH, so if I have the car in drive, now your seatbelt has to be on to engage this. So let me get my seatbelt on here. Sorry, should have that done. And I put the car in drive, and I'm going to wait for Jesse to walk past here. Here we go. And I pull forward here, and then I put my foot on the brake. You'll see this little circle come up. Now it says that the vehicle is going to stay in place. So my foot is off the brake, and the car just stays where I put it until I hit the gas again. So if I hit the gas again, that little circle goes away. And then when I hit the brake again, and it turns back on. Some people really like this feature. I'm a fan of it. Some people are not. That's just dependent on how you want to drive, but just so you know what it is. So I'm going to turn that back off. Okay. Driving assistance. This is your pre-collision braking, lane departure warning, blind spot, and rear cross traffic alert. Your blind spots are right on the inside of the rear view mirror here. I'm going to turn those off and turn them on just so you can see them. If that light indicator is ever on, there is somebody over there. When you turn your blinker on, it'll flash at you if somebody's over there. That's not a blinker. It's telling you, hey, do not come over here. Somebody's here. Okay. Lane departure function. Some people choose to turn that off. The pre-collision braking. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And you're going to see right by the tack there that says off. Now, there is a reason to turn that off. If you are going through a car wash and that brush comes down in front of this windshield, the car thinks you're going to hit that, and it'll brake and actually really mess up the car wash. So when they tell you to turn off all your safety systems, that's what they're talking about. So you go back and you turn that on. You're going to hit OK, and that turns that right back on just that fast. Okay? Then you've got others. Now you can change how your cruise control and adaptive cruise reacts. There's 4 settings. You've got dynamic, standard, comfort, and eco. Most people leave it on standard. Some people like dynamic. Warning volume, you can change how quick the beeps are. Units, if you are from the UK or somewhere where they use the metric system, feel free to do that. Now the auto start stop feature, that's where you come to a full stop. The engine will actually turn off to conserve fuel. You can turn that off right here, and then that's going to turn amber saying that it's off. Anything amber on this screen is saying you chose to turn that off. Anything white is saying it's on but not engaged. Green will be active. So when you have it in cruise and it's working, this turns green. All right, so I'm going to turn that back on for the next person there. You also have a profile setting here. If you have a certain way you like things set up, you can change that in here so that everybody has their own profile and you don't have to change it every time you get into the car. So you've got all kinds of little shortcuts here, and you can adjust those by going to settings and going to your home screen shortcuts. You can keep those on and then go into the car, adjust settings in there. There's a lot of ways to get through this stuff, and as you play with it, you'll figure all that out. I don't like getting too into that because there's just too much to go over in just one video here. But as you play with the car more, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're used to running an iPad or a Chrome pad, you'll get used to this pretty quick. All right, so down here we have our climate control. You have actual physical buttons to adjust the temperature on either side, front defrost, rear defrost, along with your side mirror defrost. Those side mirrors do defrost, so that if you turn on the rear, the side mirrors also turn on, so watch that, they can get a little hot. If you want to adjust your temperature or your seat heaters, you have 3 levels of heated seat, well done, medium, and rare. Okay, or you can adjust the temperature here. Now sync, that is a pretty cool little feature. So if I turn on the fan, right now it's on sync. So if I adjust the temperature on the driver's side, both sides adjust with it. If at any point your passengers change their temperature, that takes sync off and they can do their own thing. They can adjust the temperature how they want. Now if they say, oh, we're good, we're both on the same page, you can go in here, click sync, and then the temperatures go back and sync to the driver. Okay, your AC button, pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty cool. Your mode is where the air blows out. You've got all these options here, and it actually shows you that on the screen of where the air is actually going to be coming out at. You've got max AC up there, auto if you just want to leave the climate controls on auto and let the car deal with it, or recycling air. You can also adjust the fan speed without going into the whole system from these two right here. Excuse me. All right, you have your parking brake right here. If we pull it up, see that red light? That says the parking brake's on. Again, if I have my seatbelt on and I just put it in drive and I hit the gas because it's safe to go somewhere, the parking brake automatically turns off. So you see this M here. Right now the car's in D. I can adjust the paddles anytime I want to engine brake. If you wanted to hold that gear for you, you can push it over into manual. And I'll just show you how it clicks. Right is up, left is down. You have 7 virtual gears. It'll only let me do 2 because we're sitting still. But when it's in that manual mode, that little light there will be on. That will actually hold the gear. The car will not pop itself out of gear for you. Okay, you have your sunglass holder here. This is our Starlink safety and security system. SOS is, God forbid you're in an impact, they will call you to make sure you're okay. If you don't answer, they send help. If you see a car crash, if somebody in the car is having a medical emergency, you hit that, you talk to a real person, goes through AT&T, they know where you are, and they will send help. This is your roadside assistance. Please do not get out of the car. If you're in a safe spot to pull over, stay in the car, stay belted in. That way, God forbid, somebody impacts you, you'll be okay. But you hit that, and roadside assistance will come and help you out. Alrighty. Subaru headrests are kind of odd. If you want to adjust it, you click it like this. If you get it too far forward, you can't push it back. You got to pull it all the way forward and then slide it back. Okay. Now, when you plug in your CarPlay and Android Auto, it's tough to show because I'm using my phone to record this video, but there's a big, deep pocket here for your phone to sit in, so you always know where it's at. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the car off here. And one more thing on the outside that I forgot to go over is your built-in crossbars. If you pull up right here on this little thing pops out. This is rubber, so don't feel bad about putting it on the car. It doesn't scratch it. That will slide over into that corner. This one slides out and comes into this corner, and you've got your built-in crossbars. So again, this was Adam Gates from Car Subaru. I hope you guys really enjoy your new Outback. If you have any questions, please contact your local retailer. We will be happy to help you out. Have a good day.